Yesterday we started a series on cylinder bells. What a cylinder bell is, cylinder bells are bells that are made from old compressed gas cylinders, okay, that have been reclaimed. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get the bells hung, and we're going to put the clappers in them, and then we're going to see if by applying the golden ratio, if that makes a difference in the sound of the bell, and whether the sound of the bell differs depending on where you put the clapper, okay? So the first thing we have to do is we have to forge the ring to hang the bell from. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to forge the rings to hang the bell from. We have 3 bells, so we have to forge 3 rings. I'm only going to show you how to forge 1, okay? So let me get started. Okay, come up here, grab the handle. Now what we got to do now is we have to cut this to length, and then we have to put a flat area on here with a hole in it so that we can tie the clapper on. Okay, we've taken them and we've measured and we've cut them at 5 inches. Okay, and it doesn't have to be exactly 5 inches. It depends on the size of your bell that you're making and the size of the cylinder that you have. Okay, but for this case, all 3 bells. 5 inches should be good for that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start, we're going to forge the eye on the other end of it, put the leather through that we hang the clapper by. So that's what we're going to do now. Half on the handle, half off. Widened it out, and we could punch the hole, but for this purpose we're just going to drill it. Okay, so that when we're done, that'll be our finished eye. Okay, so now we've got all 3 of the rings done, and we have the holes drilled. We used a 1/2 inch bit to drill the hole. It really doesn't matter what size you put in there as long as it's big enough for your piece of leather, or piece of wire, or whatever you're going to hang the clapper by. In our case, we're going to use leather. Okay. But I like to go with a little bit bigger. That way, when I do this, if I decide later on or somebody decides to hang the clapper with something else, then they can. Here's our 3 bells from yesterday. Okay, we have the small one in diameter, the medium one in diameter, and we have the large one in diameter. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to flip them over, and we're going to weld the rings that we just made into the top of the bell so we can suspend the bell. Okay? So what we do, like I said, we're just going to flip them over. Just going to take those. Uh-oh. Okay, we got one that'll fit. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, nothing a little grinding won't take care of. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so now we've done a little bit of grinding. We just took a little bit off the sides, and now we've got them to where they'll fit. That one goes in there, and that one goes in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, normally when we make these bells, what we would do, or what I would do, I should say, is I would clean the bells up before I put the rings in to hang them by. But what I want to do this time, before we ever start cleaning the bell up, is I want to get it hung, and I want to tap it with a hammer, and then I want to tap it after we clean it up to see if there's any appreciable difference in the noise, I shouldn't say noise, in the tone of the bell. Okay? Silly me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to weld these up into these bells. Okay? Okay, we're going to do a little welding. Okay, there's one. We've got two more to do. Now we got to do a little bit of adjustment. That'll get it. Okay, that's number two. Now we've got number three. Okay. Here we go. Okay, we're done with the welding for now. What you have to remember is later on, after we clean the bells up, and we're going to draw a design on there with a Sharpie, and then after we do that, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up welding on the bell some more. And then on these rings, we're going to put different designs on the rings with the MIG, so it doesn't just look like a metal ring. So right now we're just fastening the ring to the bell so we can hang it up. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get these bells hung up, and then I'll be back. Okay? So what we have here is we have the first bell. This is the smallest diameter bell. So what we're going to do is we're going to ring the bell with it in, just with the ring welded into it. It doesn't have any design in it. It doesn't have a clapper in it yet. And we're going to ring it in three places because after yesterday's video, a friend of mine, Brad McCormick, mentioned that he thought that the clapper, if you put the clapper at different heights, it changed the tone of the bell. So although we don't have the clapper in it yet, we're going to take the hammer and we're going to tap it at three different levels to see if the tone changes. So here we go. There's one. There's two. I did notice a little bit different set tone. So let's try it again. Let's just start at the bottom. And let's go clear to the top. There is a little bit of difference. Let's try it in the middle. Of course, it's more evident if you start at the wider part you go. Okay. So it does make a little bit of a difference where the clapper is. The trouble with the clapper is if you put the clapper up way high, you have to have a big clapper So when you go to strike the bell, it'll hit the sides. If you don't have a big clapper, it won't reach the sides. I usually put mine down at the bottom, about an inch to an inch and a half from the very bottom of the bell. Okay? I guess it's a matter of preference. So that's what we've got so far. It does make a little bit of a difference. Okay? Okay, we're going to play with the distance again between where the top and the bottom of the bell with the longer bell. This is the medium-sized bell. If I remember right, it's 8 3/4 inches in diameter, if I remember correctly. Maybe closer to 9. Let's see, we've got it wrote on here. Oh, it's 9 1/16, okay? It's 9 1/16 outside diameter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit it on the top. And there's quite a bit of difference in this bell than there was on the other bell. Now we're going to hit the bottom. It's got a deeper tone. Let's hit the middle. Now, it's a higher tone, deeper tone. The longer the bell, of course, the more difference it makes. So let's just do all three. Not that much difference between the middle and the bottom, though. But there is a difference. Interesting. Okay, so this is the final bell. This one is 9 5/16 in outside diameter. It is shorter than the other bells, although it is bigger round than the other bells. And the reason it is shorter is because we took the golden ratio, which would be 1.618, and we took the diameter and we multiplied it by 1.618, and it told us that we wanted this bell to be roughly 15 inches tall. Okay? So on this bell, we measured from the very top, where the valve was screwed into it, to this point here, which was 15 inches. Okay? So, on the bells you see behind us, the tall one, we actually measured from back at where the round turns into straight, and we measured from there to there with the golden ratio to get where we were going to cut. On this bell, we went from the shoulder right here down to the bottom here. Okay? So that's why they have three different heights. We employed the golden ratio on all three of them. It's just a matter of where we measured from with the golden ratio, and if we included the whole bell, where the straight side was, or if we just used from where the shoulder was. Okay? So back to what we were doing. Now we're going to tap this, just like we did before. We're going to tap it here, here, and here. Now this is a shorter bell, so I'm kind of curious to see what kind of tones we're going to get. So here we go. A lot higher pitch. A little bit difference, not much. Actually, there was a difference there. Okay? So Brad's right. It does make a difference where you place the clapper. Okay? It does make a difference. So let's do this. Just a little bit of difference, not a whole lot, but there is a difference. Okay? So that's what we found so far.